The champ defending his title for the first time, taking on Tony Tucker. It sounds weird because it is weird, but then that's boxing, so accept it. Lewis never actually won the WBC heavyweight title. It was handed to him when Riddick Bowe refused to fight Lewis last year. Just how good is Lennox Lewis? Well, it's tough to say, but we do know this. Don King thought that he was overrated, and that's why he put $168,000 on his man, Tony Tucker, before tonight's fight. If he won, King said it would be a magnanimous gesture for those less fortunate. Was it money well spent? Well, right now the fight is still going on in the 8th round. This was a monster fight card. Earlier, Julio Cesar Chavez took on Terrence Ali in the 5th round. He hurt Ali with the 2 lefts across the chin, catching him off guard. Up against the ropes, Chavez wins a TKO in the 6th round, retaining his WBC super lightweight title. He's 87-0. Julian Jackson in white defending his WBC middleweight title against Gerald McClellan in the 1st round. McClellan tagging Jackson. The replay, and you see why McClellan won the 5th round TKO. A knockout, rather, taking the WBC middleweight title from Julian Jackson. Now, other results. Former 2-time world champ Meldrick Taylor stopped Henry Hughes after a couple of rounds, and former 2-time world champ Hector Camacho stopped Eric Podolak in the 5th round.
And just an update on the Lewis-Tucker bout. They're in the 9th round, and Lennox Lewis has already knocked down Tony Tucker twice, and of course we will update you on that big bout.
Welcome back to the show. As we mentioned a moment ago, it is all over in Las Vegas. The WBC heavyweight title fight between the champion, Lennox Lewis, and the challenger, Tony TNT Tucker. As I mentioned, there were 2 knockdowns in this fight, and you're about to see them right now as we roll the highlights. We pick it up in the 3rd round. Lewis in the orange, Tucker in the white, hitting the canvas. Tucker gets up in plenty of time. He says, I'm fine, let's go. We move to the 8th round. Tucker unloading on Lewis, but Lewis is undaunted, fights back. Tucker now looking ready to go down, but he would not. He would survive the 8th round. In fact, he would survive this fight despite 2 knockdowns. The fight went the distance. The 2nd knockdown in the fight took place in the 9th round, and you're about to see it coming up. As I mentioned, here's the end of the 8th round as Tucker took some punishment, but again, did not go down. It wouldn't make any difference in the long run, however, as we move to the 9th round, and here comes the 2nd knockdown in the fight. And this could have been the clincher, as Lennox Lewis retains his WBC heavyweight title. It was a unanimous decision. The scoring went 118-111, 117-111, 116-112. Lennox Lewis, a unanimous decision, retaining his title, moving to 23-0. Tony Tucker suffering the only 2 knockdowns of his professional career, losing, falling to 48-2. We will hear from Charlie Steiner coming up on the 11 o'clock Pacific time edition of SportsCenter. He'll have a complete wrap-up of the WBC heavyweight title fight. Linda?
About respect. Lennox Lewis trying to earn some in his first WBC title defense. Let's go there now. Join Charlie Steiner and Al Bernstein.
Here at the Thomas & Mack Center on Saturday night, Lennox Lewis, the WBC heavyweight champion, title that he was handed just 5 months ago, wanted to have an impressive performance to enhance his marketability in the 50 states. Well, he won the fight all right, but I'm not sure he enhanced his marketability. It was a unanimous decision. Al Bernstein joins me now. What was your assessment? This is not the kind of aura-building performance I think he wanted.
It really wasn't, despite the fact that he knocked Tony Tucker down, the first man to do that, which is something even Mike Tyson couldn't do. But this was a different Tony Tucker. Lennox Lewis looked like a one-dimensional fighter tonight. More than anything, I think that's the thing that people will take away from this match. He's a big guy. He's powerful. He can hurt you with the right hand. But unfortunately, Charlie, he really did not show too much more, and I think he wanted to show more.
Indeed. It was the overhand right in the 3rd round, the very same punch which knocked out Fraser Ruddock back on October 31st in London. which put Tucker down for the first time in his career.
Yeah, and in some respects, this knockdown might have hurt him more, Lennox Lewis, because then he got away from some of the things he was supposed to do. And when Tony Tucker was able to back him up, as he did in the 8th round, Lennox Lewis showed another chink in his armor. He stops punching and he takes punches.
At the end of the 8th round, Tony Tucker was staggered. He was on clear street, thankfully almost saved by the bell. Early in the 9th round, however, Lennox Lewis continued his pursuit and knocked down Tony Tucker for the second time of the night and his career.
And this time that Tucker was really hurt badly, and it was amazing in a way that Tucker was able to come back.
So when all was said and done, it was a unanimous decision, a decisive, one-sided unanimous decision for Lennox Lewis. As decided as it was with the numbers, it was not that impressive a win. The numbers really don't tell the entire story. We talked to both fighters afterwards.
No, I'm pretty happy, but, you know, there's always room for improvement. I think the main thing is that I have to give enough respect to Tony Tucker because he can take a hell of a punch. I was surprised that he stayed on his feet. You know, he showed a lot of guts and determination.
I can't make no excuses. I should have won the fight, but I lost. This is my second loss, you know, but I'm going to take it like a man, and, you know, that's what happens sometimes, you know. He was a better man today.
I'm telling everybody in the world, you know, if that was Riddick Bowe, he would have been on the ground because Riddick Bowe has no guts, and he would never have got up from a punch like that.
Okay, I'll give us an early handicap on a Riddick Bowe-Lennox Lewis fight that we expect to take place about a year from now.
Well, based upon what we saw here tonight, certainly Riddick Bowe would probably be installed a favorite at this point. Lennox Lewis showed some deficiencies that Bowe could take advantage of if, in fact, Bowe doesn't walk into a right hand and get hurt. But at this point, Bowe would definitely be the favorite.
Also tonight, we saw Julio Cesar Chavez improve his record to 87-0. with a TKO in the 6th round over an old friend, Terrence Ali.
Yes, Chavez showed power in the 6th, knocked him out, got the TKO after Ali had a gutty performance.
And the new WBC middleweight champion is Gerald McClellan, a 5th round knockout of Julian Jackson. So some final thoughts on this Saturday night of fighting in Las Vegas.
Well, as you said, it was not the kind of performance Lennox Lewis wanted. He tried to put his own spin on it and say it wasn't quite as really disappointing. And the spin doctors will be at work overtime in the next couple of weeks, including Rock Newman over there with Riddick Bowe. But I think it was not the kind of performance Lewis wanted. And right now, it diminishes a little bit the Lewis-Bowe fight.
And our next stop will be Washington, D.C. in 2 weeks when Riddick Bowe defends his title against Jesse Ferguson. For now, from Las Vegas, for Al Bernstein, Charlie Steiner, sending it back to SportsCenter.
Stop me if you've heard this before. A heavyweight championship fight ends, and the champ, previously committed to the boxing some comparative stiffs afterwards, is suddenly talking instead about fighting the big names. Lennox Lewis signed to fight Frank Bruno on September 18th, interviewing with ESPN Sunday morning, refusing to deny reports that he might first fight Evander Holyfield. We now have an offer from a casino to come back here in September, says Lewis's manager Frank Maloney about Las Vegas. Slots or craps, Frank?